it in class, because we don't know. Maybe examiner can ask you to use the normal formulas we normally use, or use Excel formula. So when we say time value of money, you say time value of money. I know you know. So it is that the money, 1 shilling we have today should not be the same 1 shilling we have tomorrow. So it should keep on appreciating. It should keep on appreciating. And when we go to the topic of time value of money, we've been told we are discounting or compounding the expected cash flows. Hii Safaricom watafanya tuhamie Sterling sasa. Is the behavior and then tutahamia Sterling sasa. So tukisema compounding techniques is we are determining the future value using what? Using the present value. So lazima ukuwa unajua the formula of calculating that, so that if the examiner gives you certain ratios or the cash flow, you should be able to get the future cash flow. Then the formula yes. You'll have now to buy bundles because this network is not behaving. So we said power, shift where is the power? Don't know now where it is the power. So this one we raise with n. So that is the formula of getting the future value. So maybe examiner will give you the number of years, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they will give you the present value, which we have 10, 20, 30, and then 40, 50. Then they will ask you to prepare or to determine the future value, which you need to have the FIFI, which is the future value interest factor, maybe at the rate of 10%. So you have to get this one using the tutavumilia tu hivyo sasa. So we said that you raise by 1. So for the first one, itakuwa raised to power 1. and then number 2 itakuwa 2 to 1 raised to 2. Sioni hiyo raise ya kwa keyboard yangu, but that raise. So whatever you are getting here, you multiply with the present value to give you the future value. So that is the time value, but now when calculating the future value, when calculating the future value, when calculating the future. Yes.
Okay, by the way, FV equals alafu FV. So I think
tuko na FV. It is the same. So like this one inakuambia ukitumia normal. So but sasa ukitumia Excel, and then you can use FV, which is the future value, which will it will ask you this one. Now you need to do this one. You need to do, unakumbuka tukifanya loan amortization the first class. So this one you need to provide the number of period, and basically if inatumika most of the time for like ukiwa na different rate na uko na the constant cash flows, but inaweza tumika. So assuming that we have our rate here, which is 10%, we have 10%, our rate is 10%, and then the periods, remember these are the number of periods, so this will be our N, this will be our N, and then the amount which borrowed will be this one. So in this case, for you to do this one, we can use ile tusema one input variable. Unakumbuka tukifanya one input variable, which it will ask you for rate. So rate, and then it is this one, comma, the number of months, which is this one, and then comma, it will ask you. Ukiangalia hapo imekuambia hiyo ni payment, which if you don't have the payment, you can put another comma, it will go to the present value. Yes, so present value is that, and then maybe you can close the bracket. See, so it will give you the future value is an but now you change that one to be a positive by putting negative, so utapata the, remember tunatumia present to calculate future. So and then you can drag it downward, but now you have to make your formula equal constant. Ukiangalia hapa hiyo iko sawa, so we have to make our rate equal constant, which is rate ni I27. So this I27 should be constant. You lock that, enter. So if you drag it downward and then find it here, so that is if you use the formula, but we don't know now examiner the kind of a rate. Yes,
hata akitumia different ndio shida.
Yeah, so akitumia sasa ingine ndio, but tutaangalia hizo past papers tuone which method is the best to use. So but in case, but you need to understand this financial rate. So maybe I can share the advanced Excel class for how do we calculate these ratios. Let me have the file so that at least you have the concept of Excel na examiner akiamua utakuwa maybe ukitumia zote manual and the other one. Okay. Yeah, so we have the finance function here, which are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, so we have the future value, which is it's represented by FIFI, which we have the rates, that is interest rate per month, and this one is in a period, and then we have the NPRE, which it shows the total number of payments period in terms of month. And then when using the future value, we ignore this one because this one, unless we have been given the payment, the fixed payment on each month, but we need to have what is more important is the future initial lump sum investment, which is the present value, the present value, the present value. So if ukiangalia on this side, it is the one guiding you. So kama hauna the number of period or the fixed amount, unaeka 2 commas, una skip that part, and you'll be able to give you the figure. It will be able to give you the figure, and also you don't forget to change the first part to be positive, which it will apply the same vile tulifanya. So ukiwa na number of years, you only fixed the other components, and then una drop down, itakuja the same, the same. So there is no change, na ile tulifanya ya kwanza. And then another one is remember, ukifanya time value of money, it depends. Kuna regular cash flows which utapewa 10 million year 1, year 2, year 3 up to the year 20. That one we call it regular cash flow. But we have the irregular cash flow, which you find that at the end of year 1 you have 10,000. At the end of year 2 you have 20,000. Year 3 you have 5,000. That one we call it irregular cash flows. So but now for regular cash flow, if you have been told to pay to determine the present value of 5,000 with a given interest rate, that is 5%, for a number of period, maybe 25 months, then that one, it is a direct because it is a regular cash flow. So utapata, they will pay 5,000 for that 25 periods for the number of years. So huku kikuja, you just use the PV, take a 2 formula, equals to P5, which is this one, the present value. It will ask you the rate, which is this one, comma, the number of periods, which is this one, and comma, put 2 commas and go to, yes?
Hiyo rate huwa to divide by 12 kama ulikuwa divide.
Yes, if it is per annum, even though iko silent, but if it is per annum, then we divide by 12. So it depends. Kama ni per annum, ukiambiwa semi-annually, what you normally know what to do with the rate and the number of years. Ukiambiwa semi-annually, rate unafanya nini? You divide by 2, and then n una multiply by 2. So hizo ndio terms yes, hizo ndio terms examiner anatumia kuconfuse watu.
Hata umeni confused. Last time,
yes,
ulitumia divide by 12 when finding your PMT payment.
That one, ukiambiwa, remember the payment, tulikuwa tunatafuta payment ya monthly, si ndio? Yes. Na tulikuwa tumepewa rate ya per annum. Yes. So we were dividing by 12 so that you can get in monthly.
But sir, kwa hii number of year, the loan is spread over, I think it's in 25 months. So
yeah,
it was divided by you.
The number of years that the loan is spread is over the number of years. And I think ingekuwa years, which is 25.
Oh, ni 25, see months.
See periods, yeah. Ingekuwa periods, and then tunge divide your rate by 12.
Oh, okay.
So ukiangalia, this is the formula which we normally use ukifanya normal in class, which is we take the present value n minus 1, we divide by, which if you have time you can easily get ukitumia ukitumia easy, but it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work which you need to do a lot of calculation there, but so why you stress yourself ukitumia hizo, na unaweza kutumia Excel formulas. So the next one anakuuliza the net present value. The net present value, so unapata you have the rate, which is you have the rate 5%, and then you have the year one or value one, a negative of 4,000. You have been told in FM class that for any figure which is a negative, it means that is the cash outlay or initial outlay. And then we have the, you can even see here, and it is an initial outlay. Then year one, year two, those are the cash inflows. So to determine the net present value of any given project, what do you do first? You discount by getting the present value. After getting the present value, you subtract the initial capital ama initial investment. So utafanya tu the same vile tumefanya hiyo ngine, you get the, but now this one tutatumia net present value, NPV. Ile ingine ilikuwa PV, but this one now tutatumia the net present value. Remember finance tukiulizwa net present value, this is after. If you get the present value, subtract the initial cost. But tukitumia Excel, then it will be very simple. You just say equals, you can get the sum of what? The initial investment, that is our sum, because it is a negative. You put a comma, and then from there, introduce a new formula called NPV, and it will ask you the rate, which is this one, comma, value one. You can see for the net present value, this one is a direct because it asks you value one or the cash inflow one, which is this, and then comma, cash inflow two, which is this one. Unaweza enda even back at 10 cash flows because ina depend the number of years, and then you close the bracket, you get your net, accept, you get your net. Maybe we can round off this to do the 2 decimal place. So you will get your net of 671.2. So that's when you apply the formula, which still, if you go to the long way, you can get it also here. So ukitumia the long way, ukidiscount zote and then useme minor. So ukitumia long way, tumesema for us to get the present value, we take the future value plus 1 minus n, which ukitumia formula hapa, sijui utaipata wapi hiyo kwa calculator yako. Kwa unajua mahali kuna hiyo power in your Excel, so that ukipata you don't remember the Excel formula, but you remember the class formula, you will get the same, because this one we say the present value, we take the future value
number 6
plus PFIFA, but this one is not PFIFA because we don't have the regular cash flow, so we're using PFIF. We're using PFIF. So PFIF, tumesema formula ya PFIF ni which amechukua that is C21. C21 ni gani? C21 is the first, that is the multiplication. C19 plus 1, because tunachukua 1, itakuwa 1.05 raised to 1, which is year 1, and then whatever we are getting, multiply by that investment or the cash inflow 1. So utapata our present value for year 1, itakuja that one. And then the same case here, ukitumia the same, that is the formula of getting. So I think you can write that one somewhere so that pate kama ujui ukumbuki ya net present value, you can use that one. So which in year 3, year 2, it gives us the present value of 18 point something. So if you add the two, if you add this sum of this, it will give us 46.71. Then from there, subtract the initial outlay, which is this one. So if you subtract or you add the two, you get the same value, which is 671. So which one is easier? Long way ama kutumia formula? So kutumia formula is very, yes, but formula is very straightforward. And hii sasa ukichanganya na kudivide na multiplication, but for formula, it's straightforward. And then also ukiangalia the time value of money, at one point you are required to get the payment or the monthly payment, because for the purpose of doing the loan amortization. Remember, loan amortization, you must have the fixed installment all the way. So you will use this formula called the PMT to get the monthly payment, because for the installment, remember in FM, you have been told how to get the installment. You normally take the principal amount. This is the formula, the long formula. We take the principal amount, we divide by PFIFA. We divide by PFIFA. Installment, we divide by PFIFA, but we are not using PFIFA here. So the best way is to use the formula, which is PMT. So take equals to the PMT, the monthly payment PMT, which it will ask you the rate, which is that one, comma, the number of periods, which is this one, in years. That is the number of loan. That loan is spread in years, is 10 years, comma, and then it will ask you the loan to which you borrow. So the total loan which you borrow, it is the present value, not the future value. So which you can take that one. So lazima ukue keen hapo, ukiangalia kuna PV na FIFI. So the loan you are borrowed today is the present value, and then you click enter. That is the negative. It shows it is a repayment. So you change the figure here by putting a negative sign. It will come to the positive. To come to the positive. So that is finance. That is when doing the time value of money, ukiangalia in that syllabus. So that's what examiner wanted you to understand. Is it value of money? And then we have IRR, or the internal rate of return. They're also asking the same thing, dashboard and sensitivity analysis. So maybe whatever you are doing it, like either doing the financial easy discounting, at the end of it, you need to prepare a dashboard and visualization. Visualization is utatumia to any chart yenye unaipenda. So it's not necessary that, so long as you are presenting it with certain charts. So maybe we can go through the past paper, we see what the examiner is asking regarding the time value of money. To copy ile PDF ukiscroll unaweza pata ni question gani, so that to open the question, the PDF. So niko na past paper, sijui sasa ni gani ni ya practical, ni gani ni ya theory. Yeah, I think this one is for practicals. Let's check. Ni gani inauliza mambo na time value of money. Yeah, you can see question 22. Do you have this question? Let me stop sharing so that we can see what we have covered. Inyaja cover. Tangalia. This question, I think you have this question, which is for Safari Limited. Say that Safari Limited is evaluating a project with the following details. Which you have been given the initial investment, the residual value, the projected cash flow, and annual cash flow with a growth growing from year 2, 10%, and the projected life, 5 years. And then number 1, you have been told compute the following project metrics: the payback period, the net present value, assuming a discount rate of 12%, and the profitability index, assuming a discount rate of 12%. So tumeangalia tu hapo the net present value, hatujaangalia the payback period and the profitability index. So are you able to prepare for me number 2, Roman 2? So maybe you can share the screen, try to apply ile formula jaribu, and then we see if we are getting something. Tutakuwa tunasaidiana tu. At least you remind yourself ile formula tumeziweka. Si kitu inaweza maliza 10 minutes, something for 5 minutes. So umeshaipata hiyo swali?
Acha niangalie.
You can stop.
Excel yangu ina take long kufungua.
Excel yako imekataa kufungua? Maybe
Ah,
you can try mine.
imefungua. Acha
Oh,
niangalie question. Question 22.
yes.
So, unasema ni share screen.
Yes, you can share the screen. And allow multiple sharing.
Allow sharing.
Okay. You're sharing. Nasemaje? Eh? Unaonaje? You have to run your race alone. People only meet you at the finishing line. Ndio. Kuongea tu.
You didn't fix the fridge? You didn't fix the fridge? You didn't fix the fridge? You didn't fix the fridge?
Leo screen ilipotea kidogo.
Okay.
So acha ni share sasa hii. Unaona?
Yeah, ndio unaona. Yes. Start sharing. So maybe I can wait.
Umeona sasa?
Bado ina. You have to share the Excel, yeah.
Unaona Excel?
Yeah, naona. So they ask for the net present value. So we can start with the net present value, which we will take, we need the cash flows. These cash
Copy
flows inaenda for
paste hizo values. Residual value.
okay.
So NPV.
Yeah. So we need NPV.
Mimi naona iko na
So NPV now, yes,
growth.
it is just one because we don't need, there is no lot of cash flows. It is only one cash flow. So we'll get the NPV. That is the rate. And then comma, the value one. The value one is cash flow, projected cash flow year one.
Kidogo. Ulisema kwanza minus.
Mhm.
Ulisema ile sum kwanza. Initial
Yeah,
investment.
but you have to change this to negative.
Okay. So
NPV.
there's a residual value.
Mhm.
It should be subtracted.
What do we normally do with the residual value?
It should be subtracted.
It is the same because remember that is the only amount which will occur at the end of these 5 years, right? So which is it will be the same. It is the same as cash inflows. So we should not be subtracting. So get the NPV first for 25 million. Or we can get the present value. We can get the present value. Get the present value. Wait, get the present value of backspace that. Comma. Another comma. Yes. After another comma, the present value. Yeah, the future value, because that is the projected cash flow, it will be future value 25 million. Enter.
Mbona inasema
Nimekupea
value?
hashtag values. Excel inasema hashtag values. Which is umeziweka shillings, toa hizo shillings.
Oh.
And then comma. Ama usiona. What is it that doing to Excel? Nikiweka yangu hapa, that is
Sawa.
25 million. Iko sawa? And then change to be the positive. Multiply na positive 1, negative 1. So get another one also for the residual value. Get another one for the residual value.
A present value for the residual value.
Yes, the present value for the residual value.
Kujia 6 million.
So add the 2 and subtract the initial investment. So the NPV is a negative, but umetumia which rate?
5, 10%.
Na question tulikuwa tumeambiwa assume a discount rate of
12%.
So remember, which these ones, I think these ones we have to arrange this one so that
Equal
we
to
can have years. Yes. Change the rate also for that. No, yeah, 6.
negative.
So that is, yeah, it is a negative cash flow. You can get positive or a negative cash flow. A negative cash flow. Because if you use we cannot apply the first one because the first one, it has the net present value. They don't have the years. Yes. Na hapo tumepewa the years, so hatuwezi apply the first one. Hatuwezi apply the first one. Now, How do you get the profitability index? Profitability index is you take the present value of the future cash flows, you divide by the initial investment. You divide by the initial investment. Divide by the initial investment, which utachukua the total of the two, and then una divide na 100 million instead of subtracting. Divide.
Haijapita 1.
Yes?
Haijapita 1 kwa 0.2.
0.2?
2.
Kuja 0.0. Ijapita 1, so that is it. So that is ukitumia formula, but now we don't know which basis examiner alikuwa hakutuambia we use Excel formulas. Yeah. So which mean if they don't ask for Excel formulas, then you have to look at the marks. Kama marks ni 10 marks, and then you have to prepare a schedule which will have year 1, 2, 3, like that. And then the cash flow for year 1, 2, 3. This is the constant, but this is the cash flows for this one was constant, right? So the net cash flow, they don't have a problem because this one is the type of a cash flow, a regular cash flow, 25 million for 5 years. That one is okay. But if it was for 2 years, 3 years, unapata zina change, eh? And then tungetengeneza that schedule of year 1, 2, 3, 4, then to see the cash flow to calculate separate. Yeah. And then payback period. Payback period now, I don't know if we have payback period in Excel, but there is a payback. How do we do the payback period? So you have, that's why nilikwambia lazima ujue the long way na shortcut, so that ikikuja in exam you can approach in 2 ways. So the payback period is that lazima kwanza tutafute the cumulative values, eh? The cumulative for the payback period. Let me show you how we normally do the payback period. Let me stop. You can stop sharing. Stop share. Share my screen.
Una stop na wapi?
Hapo chini. Hali inaonyesha red hivi. Hali inaonyesha red kwa hiyo screen umeshare. Umeipata?
Nimepata.
Hapo tu kwa hizo features.
Ime stop huko.
Yeah. So let me share. Let me copy these values. So assuming it is this one to have been used to get the payback period. So for payback period, the long way is this one, years, year 0, or year 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5. And then here you will have the cash flows. The cash flows. Then the cash flow. So remember the cash flow is 25, but you will need the cumulative. So lazima tutafute the cumulative cash flows. Just a minute. Yeah. So tusema year 1 is 0, year 2, what do we need in year? Unajua tumeambiwa year 1 projected cash flow ni ngapi? Ni 25 million. 25 million. So year 1 hapa tutapata, we need the cumulative cash flow. Cumulative cash flow, which year 1, this is year 1 is 25 million, so we can use million. And then cumulative year 1 still itakuwa 25 million, but tumepewa hizi values itakuwa constant throughout the year. Will it be constant throughout the year? So this examiner, you have to reason. Yes?
Kama wamepewa wameka growth ya 10%.
Wameka growth ya
10%.
10%. So which mean we can say this one will be what? Plus
1 plus G.
1 plus 10%. 10%, then you close the bracket. Hii inanipea I have to divide by 100.
Ni times ama?
We need to increase this one by 1%, by 10%, which will be this one times 1.1. That is 10%. If you, that is 1.1. Whatever we are getting here, you should add. You should add this one. We should check this plus answer, which giving us. Oh, I'm not getting increase of 10% here. Iko inakuja ngapi? See, you can increase, that is 101. So 101%. 101 we divide by 100.
25 plus 10% of times 25.
So we're increasing by 10%, which means this one will be this plus bracket this
10%.
times 10%. But what I'm getting here is this one. This one we need to remove this percentage. I think we can divide here by 100%.
I think economy.
Or we multiply by 100%. This one should be yes.
Maybe equal in percentage. You.
Or we remove these.
For home. No, home.
Home. E.
Format yake.
Let's go to the format. We check.
Kuna percentage.
But they are numbers. But we can say we can have it's the same. We can have a 0 point something. You multiply. Let's do the manuals like this plus whatever we're getting here time is 0 0.21. Which is it? And I have to open a new Excel worksheet. 25%. This one times can do it separate here. But now it has to be so that zinaenda zikiongezeka 25 times 0.21. We close the bracket. Enter. Yeah, I think this one is equal interrupted. Huh? So we drag down what? So here 5, tapata that 100 still. We will not get the 100. Now we get the cumulative. So year 1 will be the same. Year 2 will be this plus for year 1. And then you can drag it downward. So up to this, ukiangalia mpaka hapa imefika 82.75 million. And our initial outlay ilikuwa ngapi? 100 million. So which means in this one, we don't require the full amount of that. We don't require the full amount of that 33.28, right? Because we only need the one. So 100 minus 82.75. So here we only require 17. In this case, we only require 17.25. So that's 17.25 so that you can have the cumulative figure of 100,000, which is 100 million. So now our payback period, we will count the full years. We will count the full years, which is year 1, 2, 3. Those are 3 years. So we will write 3 years plus. Then we will take now this one 17.25. What was the total value of this one before we change to 17? Let's check first the total value before we change to 17. Undo. So the total value was 33.28. So this one will be 17.25. We don't need this one. Here 5. So I can now get the fraction of this, which I will divide 17.25 we divide by 33.28, which will give us, that one will give us how many years? So it will give us 0.5. So now our payback period will be 3 years, 0.052 years. So that's how you calculate the payback in a long method, because I don't think there is a way of calculating the payback period using the Excel. Using the Excel formula. So you need, that's another alternative. You need to know how to get be calculating these formulas using the long way. Iko sawa? Internal rate of return. How do we calculate the internal rate of return? Are you still there? The internal rate of return is you get the positive NPV, which the other one ilikuwa negative NPV, right? Okay, sikusikii. So unakumbuka the other one ilikuwa 12%, but you are getting a negative NBV, which means you will reduce this rate maybe to 5% or 2% so that you can get a positive NBV. So ukishapata a positive NBV, then you apply the formula ile ya lower rate. So you have to go back now to the finance books. We refer it the finance book. Yeah, how to get the IRR. How to get the IRR. To get the IRR. So internal rate of return, calculate the internal rate of return by taking the lower rate. So there was that long formula. FM. So IRR, if you use the long formula, IRR equals to the lower rate plus, in bracket, the NPV of lower rate that you divide by the difference in NPV and then you close the bracket, you multiply by the difference between the higher rate minus the lower rate, and then you close the bracket if you use the long method. So try to this, and then you will try to use the formula thereafter to yone. So I think taking introduce another concept. Ukiangalia that topic ya time value of money, tumeshamalizana nayo. So it is only now what is remaining is to present this information using the graph. So ukiangalia hii data analysis haina mambo nyingi. But we still have, so mahali tutakuwa na kazi nyingi ni computing the taxes for individuals and companies, preparing wear and tear deduction schedules. Yeah, but your time value of money don't have so many things. Yeah. So unless there is a question. Yes.
Yeah, sina sijui kama uko na notes hizo formula.
Yes. Yes.
Sijui kama uko na hizo formula.
Aha.
Hizo are the long ones, long formula. Kama itabidi niende kwa my books nilipeana.
Ulitupa vitabu?
Nilipeana sikutupa. Kuna mtu alikuwa anataka.
So a projected present value ndio vitu kitumia FOF, discount cash flow free or the free cash flows. So maybe I can share with this schedule of Excel ndio uangalie unaweza approach ukitumia formulas. So ni mzuri tu kujua zote, but more so is to use Excel. Importantly ni kutumia Excel, but you need to remind yourself zile za class so that ukishindwa na hizo za Excel unaweza apply hapo, examiner hawezi hawezi kukukosesha. So ukiangalia this is amekuambia calculate the present and the future value ni the same tu na hizo zingine. So unapata like amekupea the initial cash outlay ya 500 na akakupea ya 1, ya 2, ya 3, year 4, year 5, the different cash flows. The different, so hata hii tumefanya za growth ya 10%, you can use this format because we have year 1 to year 5, then we have the cash flow. So you can get the present value. So how do we get the present value? So kama hiyo ingine amekupea, so already we have tulikuwa tume increase those cash flow by 10% after the year 5. Then you can use the formula now, the sum minus NPV, the sum minus NPV of that one. So which will give you direct the net present value, the net present value. Hizo itakupea the net present value.
Na kwa plus
And
ama
then
minus?
ni plus. So utasema, ukiangalia formula tumesema sum of the first one, but the first one lazima ikuwe negative.
Yeah.
So lazima ikuwe negative and then uweke NPV, then utaiweka hizo cash flow kama umesha increase na 10%, but ukiangalia our interest rate ni 10%. 10%. Hiyo 10% ndio tume increase hapa. Hizi 10% rate tumewekwa. Yeah, you can start with the rate. You can see they have applied this is equals to the sum of this one, and then comma. Number 1 is the rate. Make sure you put the rate. Number 2 is the second value, which is this one, comma. We have another one here, comma. You have another one here, comma. You have another one here, comma. You have another one here. Close the bracket, hit the enter. So it will give you 90, which hiyo tumepata hapo. But here now, that is the summation, ukisum. But now we need to bring in an NPV. Yes?
Sijui kama ulisahau
Remember
kuweka NPV.
sijaweka NPV.
Ama
Yeah. So kama nikiweka NPV and then I don't need, hiyo ilikuwa tu summation of the net cash flows, but those are the undiscounted cash flow. But tukidiscount, tutaweka equals sum. Number 1 is this one, comma, NBV. It will ask us the rate which is 10%, comma, and then you can select our values here and then close the bracket, exit. So you pata 67 wameround off, and then discount internal rate of return vile wameifanya hapo. So internal rate of return, you just put the net cash flows or the cash outflows, and then you just put equals IRR, and then itakuuliza the values. So you can sum all these values, you will get your internal rate of return here. Hii mbona imenipea 0 na hii imenipea 5? That is E10 to J10. Maybe Excel yangu iko na shida hapo. Yes? IRR, the values. These are the values. This is the same formula here. Unless maybe you try na Excel yako, because it is the same formula. You put equals IRR. These are the values. And then close the bracket. Maybe this one is maybe contaminated hapa, so but should give you 5%. So you can arrange your data vile umeifanya hapo in this format, right? Yeah, so ukiangalia this guy ame apply the long way but a present values here, which ametumia easy. So which is the same. So which means there is a value here which we are not seeing here. There is a value here. So there is referring to year 1. So you can see you can use the long way, discount the cash flow for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, mpaka year 5. So ukishapata the discounting cash, ukishapata these are the present value already ameshafanya nini? present value, but ametumia the long way vile nilikuwa naitumia hii ile nilikuambia ukopi. Yeah. So unaweza tumia the long way tupate the present values here, and then ukishatumia hiyo unaweza pata the present values hapo mweke, and then uweke net book value then IRR projected. So it is good to arrange in that format, but inategemea tena marks. Kama ni 1 marks then naweza tumia formula, but kama ni 4 marks 6 marks lazima examiner aangalie kuna steps hizo ma steps. So think up to that part.
Introduce hiyo scenario analysis baadaye.
Yes.
Hiyo scenario analysis.
Scenario analysis itabidi kama umemalizana na umesha learn some functions na so that one scenario analysis tutafanya kwa projection sensitivity analysis. So nitakuonyesha kwa projection ya sensitivity analysis, but kuna loan amortization. Ukiangalia in our syllabus also we need to cover the loan amortization, which is also good. So ukiangalia loan amortization utapewa the number of periods, the interest rate, that is annual and monthly, and then utapewa the loan amount. So the first thing is you compute the payment, the monthly payment ukitumia PMT. PMT which hiyo tumeshafanya na iko kwa time value of money. So arrange your figures in this format, and then it is just guiding Excel to do what is Excel inafanya nini. So unaweza kuja hapa you copy this data, this period up to the 10 period, and then to paste here, and then to get the payment. This is the installment which will be constant throughout the year. So maybe you equate to this, and then it should be constant throughout the year. Throughout the period you copy this one. Let's copy up to that point. Copy. Ama utarifaa to Excel, akuwa anarifaa to that point. Hii haiko fixed, so we can fix this. We fix that, and then copy this on the other side up to that point. So utapata, and then the interest rate already tumepata hapa, tuko na interest rate hapa per annum. So the interest rate is the principal amount times the principal amount times the interest. Yes. Zote huyu mtu alifanya opposite tu. So for us to get the principal amount is this one. The principal amount is 300,000. So our interest will be the interest rate, which is this one. Let me delete. The interest rate, which is equals to 25. 25 should be constant. Log to that times the principal amount, which is 300. Now hii inakuja percentage.
Ukienda hapo home, si uta change tu utoe hiyo percentage.
Yes.
Ukienda hapo home.
Here lazima to divide. I think tuna divide na 100%.
I think itabaki kwa percentage juu huku like hiyo
huku inafaa to change
home hapo home I think kuna mahali ya
iko in
percentage.
percentage, but it should be Excel ameweka 0 point something which will be 20. Kwa amedivide na kieka home hapo, ukirudi home hapo itakuja ngapi? So you can see the interest rate tunaweza multiply na 0 point, tunajua ni 0.2, but see juu hapa wamesha 0.2, which tukimultiply this times 0.2 times this one inatupea still percentage. We made this first one, this times this. Go to home. Yeah. So go to home, change to numbers. So the residual itakuwa this plus minus
minus.
the payment. So you need now to guide your Excel on the second side, atakuwa na pick gani. So utapata on this scenario, Excel itakuwa inachukua this time is the principals. The principal is the residual, right? Ama tunge arrange in another site, because this is the closing balance, which will be the principal for the second year. So this one should be, you say equals that. So, and then now here can copy our formula. Now it will be this one. So we can copy this. We change now this to be 25%, make that one to be constant, times this one, so that we get that. This one will be itakuwa to the same throughout the year. Itakuwa to the same even. And then here itakuwa this plus this minus this, enter. So ukishafanya hivyo, just select all of it and then double click here. Excel watacopy the same formula. You can see here you should get 0. Huyu alifanya wrong, alipata -8 something, which principles zake ziko wrong up. So this is the correct way. So that is how to do loan amortization. Loan amortization. So you just do for the second columns 1 and 2 rows, then you double click the Excel, itakuwa guided, ita repeat hizo procedures. So I think we can stop there. Next, maybe tunaweza fanya hiyo scenario analysis before we move to the auditing. We will go to the taxation first. Auditing is just small topic. Kwa sawa?
Unasema auditing iko na?
Nasema auditing haina much of practical, so tuta move to the taxation.
Na niliona hiyo question ya management accounting.
Yes? Kuna management accounting, eh?
Niliona question ya management accounting kwa hiyo section 2 hiyo kwa dual questions. Na mimi sija specialize hapo. Sasa sijui.
Uja specialize kwa MA?
No.
Yes?
Iko hii question
hii ni basic management accounting. You did it on section 2. Mambo na budget. Budget na practice. Yes?
Ile exemptiwa.
So tuta apply tu, tutafanya tu bado.
Nita apply ya management accounting tu.
That's why hii data analysis ina cover every unit. So unapata hata kuna watu wamespecialize kwa tax but wanapata auditing hapa. Wamespecialize kwa audit but wanapata tax. But ukiangalia si deep finance ama hizo, so wanakava at least zile za hata zile za section 2 huko chini.
Mm. So,
So maybe I will share the video and hii Excel zenye ziko na finance
na zile formulas.
yes, za hizo formula.